You know how the moment you post a photo, all your friends get notified, like instantly? Or how your food delivery app just knows exactly when your order is ready and on its way? Well, that's not magic. It's a really powerful, kind of invisible pattern that works like a secret language for all our modern apps. So let's dive in and demystify this thing they call the publish-subscribe model.
All right, here's what we're going to cover. We'll kick things off with a simple problem we all face. Then we'll use a classic newspaper analogy to make it all click. After that, we'll get into how it really works, the huge advantages, and where you're using it every single day without even realizing it. And we'll wrap up with the big takeaway.
So, let's start at the beginning. We need to understand the problem that PubSub was actually built to solve. In this world where everything's connected, all of our different systems need a way to talk to each other without creating total chaos.
Okay, let's go back to that food delivery app. When the restaurant says your food is ready, imagine if the system had to call you first, then hang up and call the driver, then update its own database. It'd be a mess, right? Super slow, things would get missed. What you really need is for that one piece of info, order ready, to just get blasted out to everyone who needs to know it all at the same time. How on earth does that happen so smoothly?
This is where a great analogy comes into play. To really get a handle on this pretty complex tech idea, we're going to look at something much older, something we all get, the good old-fashioned newspaper.
So check this out. You've got a publisher, right? Like a news agency. They're just writing stories all day. Those stories get put into different newspapers. Maybe there's a daily sports paper and a weekly business paper. Think of those papers as categories, or what we're going to call topics. Then you've got the subscribers. That's us, the readers. If you love sports, you subscribe to Daily Sports. If you're into business, you get the weekly. The really important part here? The news agency has no idea who you are. They don't care. They just write, and you get only the news you asked for. That's the core idea.
Okay, so let's take that newspaper idea and drag it into the 21st century. It's time to go from print to pixels and see how this actually works with software.
And here it is, the official definition. It's an event-driven communication model. Basically, you have publishers creating messages and sending them to a topic. Then you have subscribers who receive those messages. And the whole thing is managed by a middleman called a broker.
See, it's literally our newspaper analogy with techie names.
The news agency is the publisher, the newspaper is the topic, and you're the subscriber.
This is perfect. It shows you the direct one-to-one mapping. On the left, you've got the newspaper world. On the right, the tech diagram. The publisher is the publishing house. The topics are the different papers, like daily news. And the subscribers, well, they're still the subscribers. The only new player here is that central hub, the message broker. That's the distribution network, all the delivery trucks and newsstands making sure the right paper gets to the right person. So to really break it down, you just need to remember these three key players. You've got the publisher, the thing creating the message. That could be anything from a weather sensor sending out temperature data to your phone saying new photo posted. Then you have the subscriber, which is anything that wants to hear about that message, like a dashboard or a notification service. And smack in the middle is the message broker, the most important piece. It's like the central post office of the whole operation, making sure every message gets to its destination without the sender and receiver ever having to know each other. And the way it works is just so clean. Step 1, a publisher fires off a message. It says, hey, temperature topic. The temp is now 72 degrees. Step 2, the broker catches that message. Step 3, the broker looks at its list and says, okay, who's listening to the temperature topic? And finally, step 4, it shoots that message out to every single one of them. That's it. Simple, efficient, and incredibly powerful. So you might be thinking, okay, I get it, but why? What's the big deal? Why not just have systems talk to each other directly?
Well, let's look at the old way of doing things, the client-server model. In that world, everything is tightly coupled. The client has to know the server's exact address. It's like making a direct phone call. You need the number. But with PubSub, everything is loosely coupled. The publisher just sort of yells its message into the room, and subscribers just listen for things they care about. They are completely independent. And that one little difference is what makes PubSub so unbelievably scalable.
Seriously, this loose coupling is where all the superpowers come from. It's a total game changer. It means you can add 100 new subscribers tomorrow, and you don't have to change a single line of code in the original publisher. It also lets things happen asynchronously. The publisher just fires and forgets, trusting the broker to handle the rest. And all of this together is what fuels the amazing, real-time communication we just expect from everything now.
And I'm not exaggerating when I say this is everywhere. You may not be able to see it, but you are interacting with this system pretty much all day long. Let's look at a few examples.
Social media is a classic case. Someone you follow, the publisher, posts a new photo, an event gets published, and boom, instantly all of their followers, the subscribers, get a notification. That's one publisher sending a message to potentially millions of subscribers in a heartbeat.
The same thing happens when you buy something online. When you click Confirm Purchase, you create one single event, Order Created. That event gets published, and then a whole bunch of different systems who have no idea the others even exist all jump into action. The payment service takes your money, the inventory service marks one item as sold, and the shipping service starts printing a label.
And think about this stock market, where every millisecond counts. A price for a stock changes, that's a published event. And instantly, that update is delivered to thousands of different trading platforms, news tickers, and apps on people's phones. It's the same powerful pattern, just moving at the speed of light.
This one is a fantastic example of a whole ecosystem. In a smart city, you've got all these sensors and cameras acting as publishers. They're constantly sending data to topics like traffic update or accident alert. And who's subscribing to that info? The main traffic control center, emergency services, and even your own GPS app, which quietly reroutes you because it heard about a jam. It's a whole bunch of publishers and subscribers, all coordinated without even talking to each other.
All right, let's wrap this up. When you put it all together, what's the big picture here? What's the main thing to remember?
Now, it's not a perfect system, of course. Nothing is. Because everything is so separate, doing things like making sure messages arrive in the exact right order can get a little complex. And trying to debug a problem when it could be in 5 different services, that can be a headache. But honestly, for what you get in return, these are challenges worth solving.
At the end of the day, this is what it all boils down to. PubSub is the engine that makes so much of our modern tech possible. It gives us systems that are flexible, that can grow, and that can respond in real time. It's truly the foundation for microservices, big data, you name it. So I'll leave you with this little challenge. Now that you know the pattern, you know to look for publishers, subscribers, and topics, just pay attention as you go about your day. Look at the apps you use, the websites you visit. Where else is this invisible engine running things behind the scenes? I think you'll be surprised just how often you spot it.